for tuning in and welcome back to the channel. I figured I would go ahead and throw my hat in the ring with everybody else's league starters for the upcoming Delirium League in Path of Exile. Typically, I don't tend to play the super meta starter builds like ED Contagion or Bane or Blight. Some totem builds like Arc Totems or Ball Lightning Miners. I typically try to avoid those, not because I'm trying to be a special snowflake. I just particularly don't like the playstyle of them. I've always really enjoyed Glacial Cascade, and I figured, let's give it a try as an Inquisitor and see what we can do as far as damage and efficiency in the upcoming league. I will be streaming this league a little bit more than I have in past leagues. I tried Metamorph, and I really didn't enjoy it all that much. But Delirium seems to look like it's going to be a really good league and quite a fun league to play, and I'm going to give it a shot. The scheduling of when I'm going to be streaming the game and when I'm going to be playing really just depends on what my new job is. I did just start one recently, so my schedule's a little up in the air, so please forgive me if the uploads are a little bit more sporadic and the streaming times aren't set in stone yet. But I will be going forward with this starter build, and I'd like to go over with you guys and see if you like it. Okay, so what we're looking at today is a self-cast Inquisitor Glacial Cascade, specifically using staves. The reason I decided to go staves instead of like dual wielding wands or daggers with spell mods on it, really specifically, what caught my eye is the overall utility that staves have gotten over the last couple patches. I haven't really played staves a lot in the past. I tried to play like melee crit staves and stuff like that for attack builds, but for casters, never really used it. So the main business of this build is it's a Mind Over Matter Staff Inquisitor. I did pick up the Arcane Surge node over here, so that's going to be a big part of the build, and that'll be included in the gem links, which I'll go over in just a little bit. Very quick overview of the general tree. All you do is just try to pick up as much area and as much life as possible. Come down to the life here, grab the life and mana nodes here, some generic cold spell nodes here, and then some AoE. The big ones I'd like to go over, so you understand why I went staves, is the Enigmatic Defense, the chance to block spell damage. Mystic Bulwark, which gives you mana regen per 1% block on spell damage. This node's really good for anyone using MOM or a large mana pool, because you get spell damage on that. Enigmatic Reach, you get area per effect and area of effect while wielding a staff. Serpent Stance, which is just global crit and crit multi, and same thing down here with counterweight. Those are really the big 4 or 5 nodes that I wanted to build around, and I figured staffs early on would be fairly cheap because they're kind of out of meta, so a lot of people typically don't try to craft them early on. This guy, I would say, would be very solo self-found friendly, just because you do have the 5-link staff divination cards. The only thing I would hesitate on saying this is fully self-found available is because in this build we do fully convert to cold with the long winter jewel. There are 3 ways that you can get your physical all the way over to cold. There's a Helm enchantment specifically for Glacial Cascade, which converts the remaining 40%. I chose to use the 2 jewels because I'll be playing in the trade league. The additional burst really is what you want to be looking for overall damage. It does add quite a little bit of damage just because of how the mechanics of Glacial Cascade work, as how they overlap. The more overlaps, the more shotgunning is just the more damage you're going to do. Nothing too special about the tree. Let's go over the skills really quick. So Glacial Cascade single target. So the single target is essentially the same thing as the AoE. I just decided to label them a little bit differently so I know for myself when I'm going over this video. So single target is Glacial Cascade, Arcane Surge, Intensify, Unleash, and Ice Bite. The reason I chose to do Unleash instead of Spell Echo specifically, you can do Spell Echo, it probably will equal out to a little bit more single target for like bosses. With the upcoming Delirium League, the way the mechanic works is you just get this circle around your map, and then the circle moves, and you got to keep up with it. So I wanted to use an ability setup that I know that I can cast on the move and do a lot of damage while moving and continuously move through the Delirium Fog, and I feel like Spell Echo is going to, specifically for Glacial Cascade, going to slow you down quite a bit. Herald of Ice just for the shatters, Summon Ice Golem for the inherent crit chance, and Vol Grace because it's just an extra layer of defense. It's really, really easy to obtain early on. You can get these fairly early on. I think like in Act 5 or 6, you can start getting these in the Vol side area. So anytime you're leveling, if you want to try to get one of these for yourself, you can, or they're going to be like 1 to 2 chaos fairly early in the league. So just look out to get one of those. Herald of Thunder, Curse on hit, Assassin's Mark, pretty typical setup. This will just give me extra crit and crit multi on my targets and help me generate the power charges I do use for this particular build. So let's go into the items. So very simple staff here. I feel like something of this caliber and a 5-link will probably run you like a couple chaos, especially early on. You can make your own through the divination card, but you could easily find a rare 5-link staff similar to these stats for very, very cheap, even day 1, day 2, day 3 of the league. I plan on trying to get the goal just because the goal is awesome. If anyone's never used the goal before, I would really suggest trying it out. This thing's awesome. It gives you free AoE, free resistances, and free maximum HP. So anything that you want on a life-based caster, this thing's amazing for that. Very specifically, Glacial Cascade, if you want to look out for that on your helm of any helm, you can use any helm in this slot. You'd probably do more damage overall if you got a Frigid Fossil Crafted helmet for the -9, but it's really okay. You can do plenty of damage on a league start. So I would suggest doing the AoE just for more clear and more overlap on your single target. For the flask I chose, I didn't really fill anything else because they're just utility flasks. Edziri's Promise is fairly solid for this build. It's not the best, but it's not bad. Diamond Flask, obviously, just for the extra roll on the crit. The gear that I chose to lay out, I didn't put any resistances on it because you could choose what resistances you want as you search for the items, but I decided to basically fill this guy out with fairly low budget gear. Most of the life rolls that you see on the gear, like on this chest, 100 life, 50 mana. The mana itself is within the range of the craftable that you can get on the bench, so these items are very, very, very cheap. You could get something with this amount of life, craft the mana on it, and like a resistance or 2 for maybe a chaos anymore. So very, very cheap gear. Going through all, just again, pretty much just a tier 1, tier 2 life roll on basic gear with a craftable mana node or mana affix on there will get you pretty much what you want for this build. So the defenses, just really quickly, about 5,000 life. Very easily to obtain, probably 5.5k if you want to invest a little bit more into HP. Total mana, roughly 2,300. Unreserved, about 1,100 with 180 mana regen per second. You can get a Vol Clarity if you so choose to, if you feel like you're running out of mana during big, long fights. But really, with this amount of mana regen and the fact that you will be running a Enduring Mana Flask, which apparently I don't have in here, so really quickly I'll show you what that is. We'll go down to mana, grab yourself an Eternal Life Flask, throw on a Enduring, bam, there you go. Once you have this going, anyone's familiar with this, your mana just continuously fills even if you get hit, so you pretty much never run out of mana. It's really super awesome for MOM. The defenses themselves, not a lot of armor or evasion. I do have 37% chance to block, 25% chance to block spells, and with the Vol Grace up, it's about a 30% chance to dodge both spell and attack. I feel like this is very reasonable defensive layering for a league starter. It's a little bit more tanky than what I normally do, but if you want to do something a little bit more meta, like the Impale Champion Cyclone, you can probably achieve similar levels of defense with similar levels of input as far as currency. But I decided to do self-cast because it's been a long time since I played a self-caster, and it's been even longer since I played Glacial Cascade, so I figured I'd give it a try. And a new league is a great chance to try anything new, especially for a starter that you haven't in the past. Alright guys, so that's my plans for the next couple weeks as far as Path of Exile. I'll be attempting to record as much gameplay as I can on stream and off stream. I am building a new computer tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that. The quality of the videos are going to definitely go up. Frame rates, resolution, all that's going to be, you know, much, much better than it is right now. So this is probably going to be the last video I'm actually going to upload in this current setup. So, you know, look out for new videos for some higher quality stuff and some gameplay coming at you for the next couple weeks. Look, I'm terrible at outros, so I'm just going to cut it here. Thank you again for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.